For an entire year, I couldn't get out of bed on weekends, completely exhausted. I thought this was aging and the beginning of a decline. Here's what I discovered, and here's what I did to get my life back. We now know our hormones impact metabolism, shifting fat, muscle loss, energy, joint pain. And yes, my doctor of 20 years told me, you're a busy working mom, stressed with a commute. What do you think? This is normal. No, it's not normal. First, I found a functional medical doctor. A functional medical doctor does all the medical things, but she adds in alternative ideas and suggestions. I believe in the 51%, 49% when it comes to medicine. 51% is true medicine. The things they teach in school, the research, which is funded by Big Pharma, by the way, people selling us stuff. 51%, the textbook, the real studied stuff. But the other stuff they don't know yet. Maybe they haven't studied it. Maybe there's no money in research. Maybe no one's to benefit by discovering it. The 49% is the mind, body, holistic. This 49%, I believe, can help so much, but not something they necessarily do and learn in medical school. And these days, I'm focusing on that 49%. So with my functional medical doctor, I started HRT, first testosterone. I got a bit of energy. I wanted more. I took more testosterone, got more energy, still wasn't there. I took progesterone, then I upped my progesterone, and then I added DHEA, and I got better. It took 2 years of tweaking and get it in a way that I feel really good. Now, by the way, when I put my blood results, which I was doing every 3 months, into ChatGPT, it felt like I was a little high, maybe even a lot high. But my doctor said no. That's what they define as normal. But what's normal for a 50, 60-year-old doesn't mean that's optimal. That's not what is going to make you feel better. So she wasn't afraid. She kept me on the too high levels, and I really feel so much better. I am really open to this idea that medicine and the doctors I respect and I'll follow, but with a grain of salt and my own independent thinking and intuition. So after 2 years of tweaking my HRT, my energy came back. I'm not in bed all weekend anymore, and the sex drive changed, not back to my 25-year-old self, but maybe my 39-year-old self on a weekend after a good night's rest. On a weekend after we went out and I had a couple of glasses of wine, whatever. Then I did end up starting anxiety medication. Anxiety was one of my first symptoms, and I'm a self-help junkie. I believe that I've been gifted a wonderful life, not with no problems, but a beautiful life. And for that, I have the wisdom to fix any mental things that I have going on. There are people who have it so much worse. I'm very fortunate and lucky, so I shouldn't have anxiety and depression. And for many years, I tried to not be on medication. Ultimately, I gave myself permission to take anxiety medicine. I realized that my hormones were raging all over the place and I needed it. The next thing that I do is the mind-body connection. If you've never heard of Dr. Sarno and you've got pain or chronic issues that doctors are not helping you with, you got to research Dr. Sarno. His method is life-changing. His research showed that stress and repressed emotions you don't even know you have, subconscious, that it triggers tension in the body. And these repressed emotions is what causes pain, particularly chronic pain. And when you recognize the emotional root and understand that pain and communicate with it and bring it to life, that the pain often reduces or disappears. I do a lot to make sure that I'm aware of any thoughts that are not helpful. For example, here's my journal. Today, I came down here and I set my clock for 15 minutes and I forced myself to write how I'm feeling. Yesterday, I got some pretty bad news. I'm rational and logical. People have it worse than me. It's not the end of the world. So I'm like, okay, we'll figure it out and move on. But I know logically that there must be more to it. So I said, for 15 minutes, I'm gonna sit here writing every single thing that's in my mind that I'm feeling. I wrote a lot more than I allowed myself to consciously think, because we're rational people and we know how to get ourselves together. I'm gonna write what is bothering me, those things that I don't let surface to the top. And guys, if you wouldn't be embarrassed if somebody read it, you're not doing this exercise right. It should be things the rational you would never say. And oh no, this isn't the journal I keep at my bedside. Ain't no one gonna read it. After I'm done, I'm gonna rip this up. Goodbye. Even if you're rational, logical, no major trauma, there are still thoughts and feelings buried inside that manifests itself through pain, and bringing the subconscious to the conscious is life-changing. Now, here's how that's related to the cortisol piece. Before menopause, our hormones manage our cortisol and regulated stress. As our hormones decline, our body loses its ability to manage cortisol. So cortisol rises. And we now know high cortisol makes everything worse. Hot flashes, sleep problems, anxiety. Cortisol literally tells your body to store belly fat. Yes, lots of belly fat. Everything hurts more because cortisol increases inflammation. Lowering cortisol breaks that cycle. So this is why, for me, the mind-body work isn't optional. The next thing I do is body work. I go to a chiropractor. I won't let them crack my back. To me, that's not what intuitively I need. I found a chiropractor who works on muscles and joints to rebalance. Lately, we've worked a lot on my hip. She does this ART method, and it really is fabulous. She works my muscles and bones using this ART method with myofascial release and muscle and joint work, and we do certain movement with certain pressure points, and she really helps me. I also do regular massage, not the massage for relaxation. I found somebody almost like sports medicine massage. I do a regular yoga, modified. I don't do the strenuous yoga that I used to. I do stretching a lot at home. These things keep my joints mobile and help me manage that inflammation that comes with all these hormonal shifts. Next, I use these devices. Outside the house, I use my infrared sauna. I use a red light bed, all meant to manage inflammation. And at home, I have an arsenal of tools. I have massage tools. I have a TENS machine for muscle pain. I have CBD oil that I'll put on my joints. Now, do I use all of these things every day? No, but they're in my rotation, depending on what my body needs. Then supplements. I have found a perfect regimen of supplements that absolutely work. And then there's some that I really want to get to, but I haven't been able to figure out how to fit it into my life. I use Nutrafol Balance for women dealing with hormonal issues, so it's good for hair, but cleared up my adult acne too. I do an omega-3 for joints. I take magnesium at night so that I can sleep and unwind at night. Turmeric for inflammation is a non-starter, and my Truvani collagen for hair, skin, and nails that I just swear by. Oh, and Truvani collagen is great for my joints and hips as well. There's a couple of other things I really want to get in my regimen, and I just can't get into using them regularly. It's fiber, because I need to be much more regular, and creatine. I really lost a lot of muscle mass with age. My DEXA scan really showed that my muscle is pathetic, even though I'm doing weights twice a week. And I'm doing such strong weights that I've never been able to do before. That's helped my bones, but it wasn't enough for my muscles because I'm not getting the protein I need. So I have fiber, and I have a creatine, and I bought a protein powder, but it just feels like so much. I haven't gotten regular with that yet, but I want to. The other thing for weight, I spoke to my doctor about weight loss, and she wanted to put me on a GLP-1 because it's doing wonders for so many people. For me, my intuition says for my 20 pounds, although it's a lot, I don't want to go on a GLP-1. So she gave me some natural supplements that work similarly to that, berberine and a couple of other things. And I tried them a couple of times, but I can't yet get on a regular schedule. But I will. It's a process, and I can't get it all in right away. And I'm going to be kind to myself about that. Look, I'm 20 pounds heavier. I can't get enough protein in. I don't hit 10,000 steps most days. I'm not doing everything right. But what I am doing, it helps. My energy's back. I'm not in bed all weekend. When pain creeps in, I resort to my toolkit. And now I don't panic. I know I have the ability to heal. We are in a constant state of healing. Our body is in a constant state of healing. And that's the mind shift post 50. Trial and error. And actually, I did find my balance right now where I feel really good, but that's about to change, I'm sure, because for the first time in my life, I've skipped my period for almost 3 months. So that means more changes are probably coming, which means I'll have to adjust again. We're going to continue learning, adjusting, and healing. That's it. No one fix, a whole system that I keep refining. Test what works for you, track it, adjust. And if you have something that's working, share it in the comments. Let's learn from each other, because the doctors are a big part of the story, but they don't have all the answers. We are the other 49%. And by the way, once our body starts changing and all these life scenarios, and that ripple hits our relationships, our friendships, our marriage, And in the next video, we'll talk about why our social world starts to feel different in midlife and how to rebuild connection so that this stage feels more expansive and not isolating.